Hi, this is Tina from InnerDelight, and here we are at another We Uplift TV moment, and I am absolutely delighted and honored to be spending time today with the beautiful Brad Laughlin from Corelight. And when you take a look at their website, corelight.org, you might as well grab yourself a cup of tea and settle in on your couch however you're comfortable and treat yourself to exploring everything on the site, because there is so much beauty and wisdom being shared there. And so I'm really, really honored that you are taking the time to be here today, Brad, and welcome.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you so much for your beautiful words.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm looking at your site, and there is something, a quote on there about you that I just really resonates with me. Is that when we learn to listen to and follow our heart, life takes on a whole new adventure. We find magic, mystery, joy, fulfillment, abundance, and a steady awakening to God consciousness within us. By Brad Laughlin. Well.
It's true.
Yeah. So would you like to share a little bit about, you're going to be participating in the Revolution for Evolution program together with Leslie, and what Revolution for Evolution means to you?
Revolution for Evolution, the title really drew us in when Leslie and I first heard about this. And it's because we are passionate about what's coming and what's happening right now. There's a new paradigm of consciousness that's being birthed in the world. And I think that's what Revolution for Evolution is about. It's really about this transition that we're all making, each of us individually and also collectively on the planet. It's the transition from the old consciousness, the consciousness of power versus powerlessness, you could call it, or victim consciousness versus tyrant consciousness, moving into a new paradigm of consciousness which is centered in the heart. And we call it the new paradigm of heart-centered consciousness. So when I heard about Revolution for Evolution, I thought, yes, that's where we are. That's what our lives are about. We at Corelight, the name of our organization is Corelight, and we've been doing this for 20 years or more. And we are passionate about helping to do whatever we can to move this change forward, because I think most people can feel something's coming. We can all feel what's happening in the earth right now. And, it's both scary and it's exciting, and we can feel the death and the collapse and the systems falling apart all around us, and that can be scary. But then at the same time, it's equally as important to look at the birth that's happening as well, and look at all the hopeful signs of things to come, and the opportunity that we all are facing right now to be able to live in this new world of heart-centered consciousness. So it's a passion for us, and I think for most people that are probably watching this, it's a passion.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I really love about Corelight is also that you have the Seeds of Light Foundation, and that you're actually offering something for people to be able to actively participate in making a difference. So everyone talks about be the change, but you're offering a way to actually put that into action.
Yeah. Our friend Andrew Harvey likes to call it sacred activism.
Yeah.
And we like to call it love in action. And it's really, one of the most important features of this new paradigm of heart-centered consciousness is giving. It's about giving and sharing and loving. And that's why one of my favorite topics is Seeds of Light. And that's our humanitarian arm. We support AIDS orphans in South Africa, marginalized communities there. Basically, it's the poorest of the poor. And we have a center there in South Africa, and not far from us is a former homeland area in South Africa where there's dire poverty, very little water. Roughly 1 in 3 people is HIV positive. So a lot of illness, a lot of diseases. when you hear these things, it sounds like such a depressing situation. And, most people, when we talk to them about it, they say, isn't that hard? And the truth is, it's the opposite. Because when we go there to do our work, we are so uplifted. And we find that these people have so much to teach us, because here they are in this situation where they really have virtually no material possessions. If they're lucky, they have a house or, a roof over their head, let's say. It's not really a house that you and I would think of as a house. They're lucky if they get a meal or two each day, which might exist of like cornmeal porridge. And, many of their relatives are dead or dying. And yet the joy that pours through these people in their eyes and in their smiles and their singing and dancing, it's absolutely extraordinary. And so when we go there and when we bring people from the West, whether it's Europeans or Americans or Brazilians or whoever comes, you can see that it's like the wheels in the mind start to turn, and they're thinking, now wait a minute, these people have nothing and they're so happy. And yet I've got everything, and I'm usually not that happy. So what's going on here? And then it makes people start to rethink their lives and prioritize differently, and see that, really it's not the material world that brings us joy. It's that inner luminosity. It's that connection to the earth. It's the connection to spirit.
Beautiful. Well, I saw one of the videos, and knowing that for anyone who's going to be visiting your website, they can see the videos. You have so many talents, and one of them is creating the most amazing movies. And the movie that's on there from the orphanage, was it the lady, I forget her name right now, but that Talita, when she shares about this project and how it's about empowering people to really come together. Beautiful. Yeah,
it makes you smile, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why one of my hobbies is making these little documentary films about what we do, and it's one of my favorite things because I get to go out into that former homeland area and film these beautiful people who are full of smiles and singing and dancing and laughter. And Talita is no exception. She's what we call a champion. She's got a vision for that community and a passion to really help the people. So what we like to do is we like to go in and support what we call the champion and help her to fulfill her vision. And so anyway, if you go watch that little video, you see what's birthing there. We've been doing this for 10 years, and what's culminating now, and all the projects we've been doing, is this Orphan Center. And Talita she's a nurse who really wants to help the children. So she's wanting to build an orphan center so these kids can have a place to stay and be fed, and she can help them with their homework and give them lots of love. And so we really want to support that, and that's why we're very, very grateful to Whispering Energy and the team that are producing Revolution for Evolution, and for all the participants, because every person that participates, 20% of that money goes to help Seeds of Light build this orphan center for these people. So yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So great. Well, one of the things I've found too is that over the years, you hear of so many amazing organizations out there. However, then stories come up that afterwards it turns out not to be so great. So a lot of people have lost trust, and I find it so beautiful to see what you and Leslie are doing and everything that you're offering to the world. Having this project, it really inspired me too, to know that when I'm offering the Hearts in It networking classes, to be contributing to your foundation as well. So and the power of social media, to be able to share your videos, to share this message, and to let people experience it when we come together and everyone contributes a little bit, that little bit of everyone makes one big whole. And what a gift. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, you are so welcome, and thank you for making this possible. And I agree with you that, the highest use of this technology that we're given is spreading this this consciousness, this new consciousness of love through the social media. I mean, what higher use could there be than to create this this new paradigm of heart-centered consciousness by sharing it through the social media to so many people?
Yeah, and for everyone watching, if you like to go on Facebook and go to facebook.com/Corelight, then you find the Facebook page there too. And that's just another way to be able to actually interact with each other. And so I would love for you to share a little bit about one of your favorite topics that you mentioned to me. And that is the presence of grace and how it flows in life.
Yes, okay. Definitely one of my favorite topics.
So it ties in beautifully with what we've been talking about.
So, okay, I think the easiest way for me to share something about that is to tell you a little story.
Okay.
And it's how Seeds of Light was born, our humanitarian arm. You know, we don't have a lot of money to speak of. We really live hand to mouth. Most of our events that we do are by donation. And when we were in Africa and we saw what was happening there with these people, we just made a commitment. It started with a commitment. We just prayed and we made this commitment to Spirit, saying, we will do whatever it takes, but we know we have to help these people somehow. We've got to do something to help uplift this area. And we didn't know what it was, you know, and we didn't just have a lot of money we could just start pouring in. And we also learned that doesn't really work either. So we started doing our work, our research, and learning what was needed there. We asked those people what was needed instead of coming in and saying, well, here's how we're going to help you. And so much grace poured in. And we started calling it, we have a term for it, we call it greased grace. And the story I want to share with you is when we first got started, within the first 3 years, let's say, this is, let me preface the story by saying, this is an example, one example of many, many times that this kind of thing has happened. This few years of our getting started, what we did was we did research and we said, okay, well, here are all the things that are needed. And we started listing what people were telling us. You know, we need a well for water, we need a vegetable garden, we need electricity to create the pump for the well, you know, and we need, and blah, blah, blah. And so we wrote these things down on a piece of paper and we just made a list and we priced them and we said, okay, here's the amount that's needed for the well, you know, $10,000 for the well, $5,000 for the garden to get the manure and the training and seeds and blah, blah. And we listed everything, and I forget the exact amount, but our list came out to, you know, $35,000 or so, something like that. And we didn't have that kind of money. And we thought, well, this will be over the next few years. You know, we'll just start moving forward and doing fundraising in a grassroots way. Well, I'd say within 3 days, we got a phone call from a man who used to sit in meditation with us many, many years ago. And he said, you know, I heard you guys have an organization that's helping AIDS orphans in South Africa. Is that right? We said, yeah, we're doing that. He said, well, I'd like to send you a check. And the check that he sent was almost to the dollar, the exact amount we had written. He sent a check for about $35,000.
Oh.
And it was it was like, we were just so amazed, you know. But it's grace, it's divine grace. And what we found is that this happens all the time. It's not just once, but it's happened year after year after year. Our job is to get really clear on what's needed and make that statement to the universe and say, here's what we need, please bring it to us. And when it's done for the right reasons, and you know, when we did a lot of work in consciousness, you know, getting clear in consciousness as well. It wasn't just a 5-minute exercise. We did a lot of inner preparation too, clearing out the mental, emotional knots in consciousness that block us from manifesting. But when the alignment's there and we're doing things for a spiritual purpose that's really going to serve a higher consciousness, greased grace.
I love it.
The money comes, the time comes, the people come, whatever's needed. And so anyway, I offer that story as an example of how grace flows.
Beautiful. Oh, well, I would say for everyone who's watching to go and visit Corelight.org. I'm getting stumbled by this. Wow. That doesn't happen often. Okay, go to Corelight.
There's two websites. Corelight.org is the main nonprofit, and then the humanitarian arm that supports the AIDS orphans and marginalized communities in South Africa is called Seeds of Light, and that's also seedsoflight.org.
Okay, and people can make a donation there, and I saw people can make a one-time donation or set up a subscription. So if you're feeling inspired by watching as I am, and I'm sure many of you will, then know that even the slightest contribution makes a huge difference to the whole. So go and visit and share and experience that joy that comes from giving, knowing that you are contributing to the happiness of and the well-being of so many other people. I really love it.
Thank you. And the birth of the global heart. That's really what's happening,
Yeah.
As more and more people do this kind of thing. There's so many people doing this work now. This is what's going to make the shift.
People coming together, yeah. And I think it's also so beautiful to know that even by making a small gesture to get people out of that fear mindset of not having enough, and that knowing that when you do offer, even if it's only $1, my God, that dollar can make a big difference if a lot of people are doing that.
No, it's true. You're absolutely right. And I guess I would add also about the fear part that that's one of the obstacles, the knots in consciousness that's important to overcome in order to do this kind of heart-opening work. It's so possible to do by simply making that effort when we feel that fear and contraction, especially in these times when financially, it can be a scary time for people. But what's so important is to overcome that and say, I'm not going to contract. Instead, I'm going to expand. And if we take those opportunities to give $5 to a charity that's doing some important work, that's a statement to the universe. It's a statement that's saying, I'm not going to close down. I'm not going to buy into my fear and contraction. That's not who I am. I'm going to open up, and I'm going to expand into my greater consciousness, which is who I am.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you, Brad, for taking the time to be here and sharing with us. And I look forward to connecting in another video to hear about some of the programs that you're offering, because, wow, there is a lot. And one of them that I would love to know about is addressing the topic of From Money to Love. Isn't that what it's called? From Money?
There is, we offer, From Money to Love is one of the courses that we offer. From Money to Love was the first course we offered about 3 years ago that deals with this topic of what's happening right now in the world. It's this shift from the power-based paradigm, which, money is so much about power, moving into the heart, into love. And so we call it From Money to Love, Journey to a New Paradigm.
Beautiful.
And so that's an online course that the tuition is by donation. There's lots of wonderful materials that you can get from Amazon.com. You can get the books and the videos online. You can watch most of them for free online. So it's a powerful course about what's happening in the world right now with this shift in a very practical way. It's not airy-fairy, and yet it's also about how we can live our spiritual transformation while living and working in this world that's going through these changes right now.
Great.
And let me just say one more thing. I know we're short on time, but the other thing I can add is that we're offering a follow-up to that course that's going to be starting live in September, for September and October, and that's called From Apathy to Empathy. So that's also on the website.
Well, we'll be hearing more about that, and I'm looking forward to that. So
Thank
you very much, Brad, and until the next time, many joyful blessings, and we'll see you in the Revolution for Evolution program.
Thank you so much, Tina, and thank you for all the work you're doing. It's so wonderful.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.